type in the soda, watch me crank that now, watch me roll, guys. Today I'm talking extra loudly because I'm trying to get through my depression right now. I don't feel good at all, I don't want to make a video, but I have to do something with my life to give it some sort of meaning. Imagine that I've got shakers like in a song, I'm like on stage next to like this quinceañera or this mamacita, and I'm like, shak, shaka, shak, shaka, shak, and she's like... By the way, I know I've got into a little bit about how some people who watch my videos might not be aware of who Soulja Boy is, but it's just so crazy to me still that there are people watching these videos that weren't alive during the craze of Crank Dat by Soulja Boy. It just happened one day, like we didn't even know what hit us. It was just like a meteor falling from the sky. All of a sudden there's this giant rock on the ground, we're all gathered around it. Ooh, it's oozing green, it's saying something. What's it saying? It's telling us to watch it you. And like everyone was doing this dance, like old men were getting up out of their wheelchairs and they were just like, watch me, you! I have a distinct memory, back when there was MySpace, there used to be this thing called bulletins where you'd just like post what happened in your day, and somebody in my school posted a bulletin saying, oh, Josh and everybody, we all did the Soulja Boy dance at the mall today, we are so fun and ridiculous, and I just remember reading that and seething and just being like, why can't I do the Soulja Boy? No one invites me to do the Soulja Boy dance. A bunch of stupid B-words doing the Soulja Boy Crank Dat dance. I'll do it alone in my home. I do have anger. I haven't been working on it. By the way, I just realized I've been talking about the Soulja Boy dance for 5 minutes without even doing it. Guys, if you've never seen it before, here's the Soulja Boy dance. Soulja Boy ready for the ha ha ha, and then we do it like we do it and we na na na. I said dig, By the way, I am wearing my merch again. This is the I Was Threatened shirt. It's available on mytoecold.com. You know about it. There's other merch there. mytoecold.com. I need money. Anyway, today I wanted to tell you guys a story that is actually, it felt very embarrassing at the time and I don't like it. I just want to, there's sometimes I have to talk about something because it needs to get out of here and on to a place where more people can hear about it. That doesn't really make sense. So the other day I was on Twitter just looking through the tweets. Tweets haha, tweets no no. Said tweets haha, there's a sad one, go. That's a song about how you get on Twitter to hopefully keep your spirits up, and then you see one about somebody who died and you leave. I like to use Twitter, and one of my favorite things is to write back to people who I'm not as popular as. Like, I've gotten in a lot of trouble with One Direction stan accounts. They're scary. I mean, obviously they're trailing off into the wind and it's not as big of a thing anymore, but I've literally just been like, for years, I'll just tweet Zayn Malik, because he like broke up the band. I'll just go, we will never forgive you. And like I literally, it ended up with someone being like, so you pretend like you respect mental illness when One Direction was giving Zayn anxiety and you don't support that, you don't support him, and you don't support mental illness, and you're a fake. And I'm such a little baby that like doesn't want anyone to be mad at me. I was like, I guess that's a good way of looking at it. I'm sorry. Like, I deleted all of it. Sometimes I'll reply to people who I either know or kind of know on YouTube or whatever, but I'm not verified, so they never see it. Here's a little tip if you don't know this. The reason YouTubers and famous people want to get verified is because you get a little thing on your Twitter app. I've seen it before on famous people's, because I talk to them, and it says verified interactions. So if Madonna comes hopping into your timeline, you see it, and if you talk to Madonna, she sees it. All the famous people are talking to each other in a secret Twitter. So this girl I follow, who happens to be a YouTuber, she had posted a few pictures that were not even like revealing, but kind of just like, I'm hot, get used to it, this is me, enjoy it if you want to. Not in a terrifying way, but just like, here's me. I mean, maybe she wasn't saying I'm hot, but it's like, she is hot, so it's hard for her not to be saying that, you know? Like when a hot person talks, you're like, oh, that hot person's talking. So she posts something that's like kinda like hot, but the caption is something like, I look like I smell bad. So I thought it would be funny, since I've talked to her before, to reply to her tweet saying, same, because it was about her looking like she smells bad, and I look like I smell bad because I'm kind of a greasy boy. I'm probably sweating right now. I'm like always sweating. People are always like, why are you sweating indoors? Most people don't do that, but it looks like you do. Congrats, king. Like the only time out of the day that my face isn't greasy is the 2 seconds after I wipe the grease off of it. Then it becomes greasy again. I thought it was like funny and lighthearted because she's posting these pictures that are kind of like, and I'm kind of like, whoa, I'm gross. And she's kind of like, oh, Drew. So anyway, I reply to her tweet, I shoot out that magic, I turn off Twitter, I, leave for 5 hours, probably take a 2.5 hour nap, and then a 2 hour and 25 minute nap, a 5 minute half asleep, half awake in between where I kind of go, oh, they texted me back, they don't hate me. Well, back to dreamland. And I go back on Twitter, I check my @reply, and somehow it had like caught traction. Like I thought it was like both the people who follow both of us would only see it, but I think it just started showing up like in a weird algorithm way for like people who follow me, or I don't even know. But every reply, each had like 5 likes, was like, yes, get her, go king, shoot your shot, yes king, go king, get her king, be the king, be king, you're king now. You're trying to be king. We all know it. You are hitting on a girl. You are hitting on a girl. Literally, one of them said, shoot your shot, king. And grandma, I know you're watching. I don't want to explain this to you, but also don't Google it. And it had 5 likes. And that, honestly, my heart kind of stopped. Because in that moment, I realized I had done something and come off in a certain way that you do not want to do and you do not want to come off as an influencer. Which is to be horny online, publicly. There are unspoken rules online. You can talk about sex, you can talk about how you've had sex, you can talk about how you want to have sex, how no one will have sex with you, but you cannot be horny. Example, replying to a girl's bikini picture with like prayer emojis and like the guy who's all red-faced and he's like, ha, ha, ha. Example, talking a lot about a celebrity you think is really hot and how much you want them to bang you, but also replying them and kind of wanting them to see it. Bonus points if you're verified because they might see it. That's horny. Or what I did, which I didn't even realize, was just being this kind of like smooth, like, did I do that? Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize your boobs were pronounced in that picture. I was just making a little joke. Whoopsie, do you like me? Listen, if it really was that way, I would have just DM'd her because we follow each other, okay? And I did because I wanted to ask her for her consent for this clickbait. You have to get consent before you clickbait. I deleted it the moment I saw any reply to it. I was like, oh my god, they all think I'm like trying something. Like I could not have clicked the like delete and then confirm delete. I was like, confirm it, no! But also after I deleted it and like I said, after having DM'd her, I sent her a questionnaire about how she felt about my tweet to her, and I'm going to read you her answers now. By the way, I'm not gonna say who it is just because I don't want to, but also I think it's more mysterious, and also I think it'd be fun if people try to figure out who it is, like if there's like let's start a Reddit thread that's like unsolved mysteries, like let's do this. And this is to the real girl that I replied to. Number 1, did you see my reply to your pictures? I did see only one of your replies and even clicked like. I was not aware of the like. You replied to multiple pics in all caps. This was miscommunication. This got lost in translation. No, where you both speak the same language. But she thought when I said pictures, because it was a set of pictures, that I meant that I'd been like replying to all of her pictures all day. So that was another embarrassing moment. 3, if you did, or even if you didn't, would you have thought I was trying to be flirty by replying to them with a dumb joke? Her response was, no, I don't think you were trying to be flirty. It was the most tame answer out of the rest. So I, once again, good guy number 1, I win. I didn't flirt, I win. I didn't flirt, I never made anyone think that I've ever had sex or wanted to. 3, does it annoy you when men comment on your pictures and try to be funny because you feel like they're actually just being horny? Answer, nah, it doesn't annoy me, just don't show up at my door. Number 5, I asked her, was I being horny on the timeline? Her answer, yes. See, I don't know if that was a typo on her part. It kind of feels like we took a left turn there. I'm not sure exactly. I think she meant no. Anyway, that was my story. I have one more story about dating and YouTubers. It doesn't have a great ending, but I think it's kind of funny. So it was like, I know it was like 3 years ago because it was at VidCon. If you don't know what VidCon is a thing where like 500 YouTubers and like 20,000 children meet each other it's legal. And I had done something that day for like this YouTube network I was working with and whatever, and this girl I've hung out with, like seen a few times, came up to me, and I remember this so vividly because I don't know if you guys are aware of your peak. You never are when it's happening. Like even at this time, when looking back it was my peak, every time I would go to the bathroom I'd whisper to myself, "You're ugly," in the mirror, no joke. But looking back, I was hot. Like, I had this nice, glorious ponytail. My butt was flat and not like the biggest guy butt ever. Which, if you, I mean, like, I know I'm being like, it's hard to be like the person who doesn't want to body shame but wants to body shame themselves. But it's like, it's fine on everyone else. I just looked good. My jawline was sharp. I was like 160 pounds, and she came up to me, and I wasn't like thinking she wasn't flirting with me. Like, I'm not saying that she couldn't control herself, but I'd have a hard time. She comes up to me, she's like, you know, "Hey, nice body. I see you're growing a 2-pack, whatever." She was like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" Like, "Oh, there's this party, there's this party." There's these weird parties at VidCon. They get dark. I mean, not like that bad, but like, there's crying. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And I'm like, literally nothing. Like, this small amount of YouTube fame I've amassed has gotten me, number one, no verified sticker on Twitter, which, by the way, I was talking about earlier, is sad. If you have over like 500,000 followers and you're not verified, it's kind of like, what did they do? Like, what's going on? It's even sadder than like being just like a normal local, because like at least they accept it. Like, but someone who has like 1 million followers and isn't verified, they just look naked. Like, there's something uncomfortable about it. I hate being one of those people. I'm sorry. She's like, "Oh, well, do you have my number?" And she takes my phone, and by the way, I left this part out, but I did match with this girl from memory in Tinder like maybe a year or so before, and I remember that she ghosted me, which is like okay, because Tinder is like literally a game where like I ghost you or you ghost me first, let's see who wins, like that's all it is. But I still, you know, it doesn't mean I don't carry around a lot of resentment in my heart. And she takes my phone, puts her phone number in, and I kid you not, you know how like an iPhone, if the phone number's already in there, it just comes up as the contact? I kid you not, I will not say her real name, but let's just say her name was Ashley. It came up as Ashley, parentheses, on my phone, parentheses, ignored me on Tinder. So she saw that, and by the way, I swear on my life, I am not like this person who runs around with a phone full of like, Ashley Big Butt Grocery Store, or like, Kendall, nice smile, bowling alley. That one's actually kind of sweet. If you are somebody like that, I'm just saying no judgment, someone whose phone is full of like descriptors for each person because you can't remember everyone you meet, you're either bad, you just have a bad memory, or you need to stop drinking alcohol. Anyway, she was just like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Huh," and literally it ended awkwardly. She walked away. I send her one of my famous apology texts being like, "I'm sorry, I didn't even do it. I'm not even the person that does this, so I've never had that, but haven't it before." And literally she responds with, "I've never been on Tinder." I don't even know. Like, what? She's, one, lying. I don't know why I put that as number one. I'm not saying it's the most likely one. Two, I got ghosted by her catfish? I got ghosted? Catfish don't ghost. That's all they do is catfish. They live a life of catfishing people, and they ghosted me? I'm not good enough for a catfish? I don't even know what's better, to be ghosted by a real person or by a catfish. Probably by a catfish, because you want to get away from catfish. Like, they're scary people. Like, have you ever watched that show? Like, I think even they'd admit it. They'd be like, yeah, I hurt people as a hobby. That's what I'm not like, don't invite me to your barbecue. You know. Anyway, I made this video and I'm actually so glad that I did it. I actually had fun today. This was fun. I have an EP coming out hopefully in the next couple months. I'm very excited about it. I know I put out like a covers album, which I know not a lot of people cared about, but this is original music. It's gonna be 5 songs, and I think it's really, really, really good. So get yourself ready to listen to it. I'll put them on YouTube, I'll put them on Spotify. It'll be free in whatever way, but I'm very excited about that. Oh my god, by the way, it was so sad. I realized in my last video, I begged people to follow me on Instagram because I'd been losing Instagram followers. A few people commented and tweeted at me and were like, that was depressing. And I was like, yeah, looking back, that's like the most vulnerable I've ever been. Literally standing here being like, I almost got a milli, but like it keep going down and I'm sad. Like, oh, I'm sorry you had to witness that. Okay, let's sing.
I'm very lonely, I'm very lonely. Lonely, oh, oh. Leave me a comment, I'm very lonely. A little comment, so leave me a comment, I'm very lonely.
Sorry, that was not great for the ears. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. Soldier Boy! Which one do you like best?